I'm reviewing real property listings to show you the difference in investing in an existing property and investing in a new build. Existing properties take more money to get started. Take this property in Christchurch, 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, with an asking price of $475,000. If you were to invest in this, you would need a 40% deposit, which means that you're going to need $190,000. But we're just getting started. If you're investing in an existing property today, you must renovate it, and we'll get into the reasons why in a moment. A standard reno costs somewhere between $60,000 and $80,000, and the sweet spot is usually about $65,000. Now you need to have that in cash or equity already, which means you need startup capital of about $250,000 if you're going to invest in an existing property. Let's compare that to a new build. This is a property that one of the investors we're working with here at Opus Partners has just purchased. It has a purchase price of $539,000, and for that you get a 2-bedroom new build townhouse in a very similar area to the existing property we just looked at. So that is a higher purchase price, but you only need a 20% deposit, which is about $108,000. So if you compare new builds to existing, you are going to need an extra $150,000 to get started if you're investing in an existing property compared to the new build. If you invest in a new build, the primary way you're going to make money is by the property slowly going up in value as the market appreciates. With an existing property, you get that too, but you can also make money through the renovations. So if you spend $1 renovating a property, you should expect at a minimum that your property is going to go up in value by $2. So with this existing property, we said you were going to spend $65,000. You should expect your property to go up by about $130,000, and in doing so, you made $65,000. When you invest in the new build, you're not going to renovate it. It's already a completed product, nothing for you to do, and so you aren't going to make any money through the renovation. So if you want to get your hands dirty, do a renovation. Existing properties could be a good fit. New builds, going to be a better fit if you don't want to renovate. If you invest in an existing property, you are going to pay way more in tax than if you invest in a new build. And it all comes down to the new interest deductibility rules. Here's how they work. If you buy an existing property today, you are going to be taxed as if you don't have a mortgage, despite the fact that you still have a mortgage to pay. So here's how it works. Imagine you have an existing property and you don't have a mortgage. How profitable is that property going to be? Extremely profitable, because you don't have your largest expense paying a whole heap of money to the bank. If your property is really profitable, how much tax are you going to pay? You're going to pay a lot of tax because your property is profitable. Okay, now imagine paying that tax, but you also have to pay your mortgage to the bank. That is what happens if you buy an existing property today. And that is the reason why you must renovate to increase the rent to pay for that extra tax. Let's put that into numbers, and we're going to use the Opus Partners Return on Investment Calculator. This is where you put in all of the details about your property, from the rent, the purchase price, and all of the costs like your rates, maintenance, and insurance. And for this, I'm going to give you 3 scenarios today. We're going to look at that new build that we've just looked at in Christchurch, and then we're going to run 2 scenarios. First, of that existing property without a renovation, and then also with a renovation as well to show you the difference. For the new build, it's going to rent for $490 per week. And I'm going to say if you don't renovate that property, it's going to rent for $450 a week. If you do renovate it, you're going to get an extra $200 per week. Let's take a look at the cash flows, because what this spreadsheet does is it creates a 15-year forecast for both the new build, the existing property without the renovation, and look how terrible that's going to be. You're going to be topping up that property by $400 a week in the first year, and then also that same property with the renovation, there you see it goes cash flow positive. The line that I want you to focus on is this one here, which shows you over the 15 years of owning the property, how much cash are you going to have to put in to top up the property. For the new build, it's about $58,000. For the existing property without the renovation, it's about 121 grand. And with the existing property with the reno, it's going to be about 66k. So this is why buying an existing property today and just renting it out, no renovation, doesn't work. Because you're going to have to put in an extra 55 grand of your own money to top that property up. If you're not going to renovate, you might as well go for the new build and save yourself $60,000. If you are going to renovate, you can see that the cash flow is quite similar between the new build and the existing. The new build's slightly better, but they're somewhat similar. So because of the cash flow, if you do want to renovate properties, go for existing. If you're not going to renovate, you need to invest in a new build. The last main difference is in maintenance, and the thing everybody forgets about is capital maintenance, things like roofs and hot water cylinders. This property was built in the 1970s, and so that roof, if it's still its original, is about 52 years old, could need to be replaced pretty soon. That's going to cost about $25,000. Compare that to a new build. By the time you settle that, that is going to be a brand new roof, won't need to be replaced for 25 to 50 years. And by the time it needs replacing, there's a really good chance that you're not going to even own that property anymore. Now the question is, do you have the money or could you get access to the money to replace the roof? If replacing that roof is going to cripple you financially, you need to invest in a new build. If you could borrow the money to replace that roof, if that's okay, go for the existing property. If you've been following this channel for a while, you'll know that I don't like to tell you what you should specifically do. It's different for each person. And this channel is about providing fair and unbiased information. So if you've been enjoying it, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We release new videos every Monday and Wednesday. But who is an existing property the right fit for? If you've got the money and you want to renovate, you want to get your hands dirty, you want to be actively involved, an existing property could be the right fit for you. If on the other hand, you want a more passive approach, you don't have as much startup capital, or you want to buy more properties more quickly, and you're happy for those properties to just increase in value along with the market, new builds probably the right fit for you.